ward handed over in Gorial, East County to boost maternal health care. Budi locals in eastern Equatoria struggle to access basic services after Key Bridge is ruined. And mass of Christian missionary societies launched in Malakal to promote peace efforts. A very good evening and welcome to SSBC English News, coming to live in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham Aken. We thank you all for joining us. We begin our news tonight with Cabinet Affairs Minister Dr. Martin Elialomoro echoing President Kiir's call for national unity and acceptance as a way to achieving peace and shared prosperity. Lomoro was speaking at the funeral prayers of Professor Engineer Benedict Sebit Lagu, the biological brother of Vice President Joseph Lagu, where he urges members of the Mahdi community to console one another over the loss of a vibrant and respected member. SSBC's Peter Muri James reports.
Addressing mourners at the funeral prayers for the soul of the late Professor Engineer Benedict Sebit Lagu, the National Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Dr. Martin Elialomoro, urges communities of South Sudan to unite and to live in peace with one another. He emphasizes on the need of communities consoling one another during times of difficulties.
I'm very encouraged by the spirit I see these days. Whenever there is a calamity, whenever there is death in any of the families, all the communities gather to support that family, irrespective of the tribe the family comes from. And I think this is the spirit of unity that we talk about, that we can console ourselves and solace ourselves. These people have gathered to give you support. We know it's painful, we know it's hard, but strengthen yourself so that you can strengthen the family of General Joseph Lagu.
Central Equatoria State Governor Rabbi Mojung Emmanuel says the death of Professor Benedict Sebit Lagu is not a loss to the family of Joseph Lagu alone, but to the entire nation. According to Governor Mojung, the late has left a big vacuum in the ICT sector.
We gather to honor and celebrate the life of a distinguished son of South Sudan. His passing is not only a loss to the family of retired General Joseph Lagu Yanga, but to the entire nation that benefited from his brilliance and unwavering commitment to the education and technological advancement. His leadership, humility, and education have left an enduring legacy in our higher education system.
Dr. James Wani Iga, the former Vice President of the Republic, appeals to the people of Mahdi still in refugee camps to return and build their home villages.
Ana der namulu appeal le nas pitana pitamadi al kam jere fi Uganda kande sabab kande ajusin alekum Allah belet pitarkum bega padi ya juma belet tamadi asa merepoinat wotiu ge siluke raja takum billahi kali nas pitana mamutu kulu fi kenya juma asan kalam jan kali baginde ja yerja lebele pitamadi.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Juba, Professor Robert Mayom Deng, says the institution has lost a great academician and a scientist.
As an institution, we have lost a great scientist, a great academician, and the loss is not only for the University of Juba, but the whole of our country. May God bless his soul and give courage to the family of our veteran person who showed us you can fight for your freedom. We started
The late Professor Benedict Sebit Lagu was the Dean of the School of Computer Science and Information Technology at the University of Juba. Peter Morijamis, SSBC News.
Family and friends gathered at St. Teresa Cathedral in Kator here in Juba for the Requiem Mass of the late Bona Malwal. Among the mourners was Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng Demobur, who, along with many others, recounted his remarkable contributions to the liberation struggle, reflecting on the spirit of collective responsibility during the 21 years of liberation struggle that led to South Sudan's independence in 2011. Nyandeng encourages the people of South Sudan, particularly the descent of the late, to uphold and continue his admired legacy. SSBC's Peter Machok has more on this story.
Addressing the mourners by President and the chairperson of the Gender and Youth Cluster, Rebecca Nyandeng Demobur, described the late Bona Malwal as a patriotic citizen who fought a political war against the Sudan regime for the freedom of South Sudanese.
The second time is when we were fighting the war of liberation. He himself, Dr. Francis Madingdeng, Dr. Chol Dao, and those other people, they fought the war of words. They spread our cause to the world. Others were using the bullet. They fought. We were one. And now we hear the third stage of where you find that we divide ourselves into clans, not even to tribes.
Dr. Martin Elia Lomro, the National Minister of Cabinet Affairs, acknowledged the contribution of the late Bona Malwal as accurate leader who worked for the right and growth of the people of South Sudan.
So to the people of Twitch, Mayadit, specifically, thank you for the gene and the blood that you have given us in Bona Malwal Madud. He has given his life for many things, but specifically for the people of South Sudan to have the universal rights and not self-determination as an end in itself, but self-determination in this end.
The governor of Central Equatoria State, Rafid Majung Emmanuel, encouraged the mourners, especially the entire family members, to remain strong in their faith to embrace peace in the family beside the national unity.
We also followed him struggle for the cause of the South Sudanese during the 60s, together with our elder Maulana Abel Aliar and others. My condolences, for also my family condolences to the late family.
Rev. Gabriel Andrew Asida, the parish priest at St. Teresa Cathedral Catholic Church, acknowledged the late Bona contribution among the Sudanese and South Sudanese in maintaining peace as the Bible. The family representative Edward Bona, he appreciates the support given to the family and reflects his father's effort on the facilitating dialogue to reconciling the people.
And probably I'm forgetting somebody else, but I just want to let those people know that, what you've done for us, we cannot repay, but the only thing we can offer you is be part of our family.
After the memorial services in Kator, the remains were taken to Juba 2 primary school playground for the last viewing of the body and farewell. Late Bona Malwal Madud was born on the 1st January 1938, but died in the 2nd November 2025. Peter Machong reporting for South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation in Juba.
And at St. John Parish of the Episcopal Church of South Sudan in Buluk, Central Equatorial State, Governor Rabbi Mujung Emmanuel has renewed his call for partnership with religious institutions as a foundation for promoting peace, unity, and addressing youth drug abuse in the state. Mujung urges the church to continue sensitizing young people on the dangers of drug consumption. In his homily, Reverend Philip Lomro encourages the baptism of church infants as a way of nurturing divine values.
dema mana tida dema mana tukan maulud dan lisra dema mulan na maulidi ade de maulud al dunya de maulud al adi maulud al ruh al qudus mai da bitopoko وحاجة ثانية برضو قال لو كان بيجا مولود الجنة مومندية جدا قال بيجا مولود معناته بيجا جرو جنة ده من وين من الدلومة ولا الجرو زوج تحت من الدلومة بيجا لسنو لأنه سيا جماعة baptism ده بيسيجنيفاي حاجة كبيرة في الحياة بتاعنا كمؤمنين.
شراكة بين الشعب والكنيسة والحكومة whether you like it or not هو مهم شديد. لكن في ظاهرة قاعد تحصل وش ده حاجات اجتماعية دارين نناقشه. الناس قاعدين ينتحروا. السبب بتاعه قال ناس بيشربوا البانجو ولا المخدرات. الكنيسة ساعدوا في الوصايا بالنسبة للمؤمنين عشان ما يعمل كلام بالشكل ده. فأنا لما نفكر أنا بشوف إنه العلاقة اللي بيربط الكنيسة والحكومة والشعب زي 3 الودايات.
Mamudia de kidima geni alela yala tani biganna ma biayini takum iyalde amana zal takum jowo gif gibelde de halifa anna wadi gidam tarabuna o kedi anna jibo iyalde gidam tarabuna la anno kitab al muqaddas gikelim gali ma mamudia de ya khulasa mamudia de lanna fi kenisa nimra wahid zay membership ita gikelim kalas ita member wita biga juzo من إيال الترابونة لكن member وجزء من إيال ترابونة ده it's neat كمان كديتا ودي.
As a source of inspiration and a reminder of the liberation struggle, many have praised the Speaker of Parliament, Nunu Kumba, following the successful launch of a new book titled The Heart of Power. The book inspires both the young and old ones by highlighting challenges and experiences encountered in the pursuit of liberation and nation building. SSBC's Bakita Kundiga BM has this report.
The Speaker of the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, Nunu Kumba, successfully launched her book titled The Art of Power in Juba on Saturday. The momentous occasion, attended by senior government officials, members of the diplomatic community, civil society organizations, national and international partners, and student representatives from various schools, aim to inspire and educate the public about the challenges and struggles encountered in the pursuit of liberation and nation building. In her keynote address, Speaker Nunu expressed her deep gratitude to His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit for empowering her and for reaffirming the 35% affirmative action policy.
The Art of Power is a story of resilience, courage and hope. It begins with my upbringing as a little girl in a royal family, a title that carries both privilege and responsibility. Little did I know that my path would lead me to the heart of one of the most significant liberation movements in modern history, the SPLM-SPLA. I come from the royal family of the Zanta Kingdom, locally known as the Afuga, a privilege that was stripped from us when the kingdom was inherited in 1905 by the British colonialists, after the killing of our king, Goodwill.
Guest Speaker Atonkwal Manyang, the Minister of Trade and Industry, described Speaker Nunu as an accomplished leader whose vast knowledge and multifaceted roles serve as a source of inspiration for both young and old.
Your book is really speaking to all of us, and I want you to know that you are a role model to many people, young girls you had earlier. Her book has inspired us, and we can only appreciate it if we also spread the word when we go out.
Ambassador Rine Buyala of Uganda congratulated Speaker Nunu for the successful launch.
Congratulate Right Honorable Dr. Princess Nunu Kumba and her family for this great milestone. Writing and publishing a purposeful book. I hope the book will act as a political and moral compass for nation building, state building, peace building, and socio-economic.
Dr. Faisal Kumba, representing the author's family, commented our resilience, determination, and visionary leadership in producing a book.
Power, the act of power, fostering liberation, and nation building. I really begin by thanking the Right Honorable very much for making that visual. And you have all mentioned, Right Honorable is one of the most powerful women in our country.
The book provides insights into the diverse pathways that women and men navigate in their pursuit of freedom, leadership, and national transformation. Reporting for SSBC, Bakita Kundigabiem, Juba.
In Nairobi, South Sudan and Kenya have renewed their commitment to harmonizing the clearance of transportation of goods along the transit routes of East African Community member states. The Transport Minister Rizk Zakaria Hassan has been engaging with relevant authorities in the port of Mombasa to address challenges facing South Sudanese traders. From Kenyan port city of Mombasa, SSBC's Martin Justin Paul Kose reports.
The Minister of Transport, Rizk Zakaria Hassan, and his accompanying delegation cautioned business members against dealing with the so-called proxy and direct them to deal directly with the registered clearance companies. The visit covered LPC Global Logistics, Compact, Autoport, and the National Revenue Office. Minister Rizk briefed the National Revenue Officers on the efforts to alleviate the suffering of the people of South Sudan through simplified approach. The Assistant Commissioner General of the National Revenue Authority for Mombasa Operations, Bolis Makir, urged South Sudanese importers to maintain flow of communication before the arrival of the goods to the port.
So we urge you, if you are importing goods to South Sudan, please deal with the company which are registered as a clearance agent and then send the money through the bank.
In the same context, the Minister of Transport, accompanied by the Deputy Ambassador of South Sudan to Kenya, visited the General Secretariat of the Northern Corridor and received an enlightenment on the activities of the Northern Corridor in promoting trade and transport, strengthening and building infrastructure, and capacity building. Minister Rizk asked Northern Corridor management to speedily confront the challenges facing South Sudan and the region.
What is needed for us, it should be the paperwork, the visibility studies when we talk about railway in South Sudan. Develop master plans for the sectors, railways, air transports, river transports. We should address those things from professional backing point of view, and we're expecting your support in those areas.
The Northern Corridor believes that South Sudan should expedite the signing of the Unified Custom Protocols and strengthen relations with the countries of the region. The Secretary General of the Northern Corridor, Dr. Joe Deng, pledged to provide the necessary support to South Sudan.
We even met the shipping line to try to understand what is it that South Sudan needs to do for the cost to be driven down. And they have always come back to one thing. If you actually streamline your automation processes, so that clearance process is made easier, then the containers can be released earlier and come back earlier.
It is worth mentioning here that the visit of the Minister of Transport and his accompanying delegation has achieved its task, notably the pledge of the Maritime Authority and other Kenyan authorities concerning the reducing of the containers' deposit fees and the increase of the grazing period. Martin Justin Paul Kose, SSBC, Mombasa, Kenya.
From Kenya to Belém in South American country of Brazil, where the government delegation led by the Minister of Transport, Minister of Environment and Forestry, Josephine Napon Cosmos, has called for a stronger international action to address the worsening climate crisis. Speaking at the 2025 Climate Change Summit in Brazil, Minister Napon urges the global community to take steps to combat the growing impacts of climate change, noting that South Sudan continues to experience severe effects, including recurring floods, heat waves, droughts, and irregular rainfall patterns, which have further exacerbated the country's challenges of conflict and fragility.
The successful implementation of the NDCs for countries such as South Sudan is heavily reliant on access to predictable and sufficient climate finance. We advocate that the new collective quantified goal currently under negotiation be ambitious, needs-based, and grant-oriented. It should include clear pathways for direct access for least developed countries and states experiencing fragility. For South Sudan, the upcoming decade must concentrate on translating NDCs into specific finance actions on the ground, empowering communities with resources and knowledge to adapt and prosper, ensuring that climate finance is directed promptly, equitable, and effectively to those most in need. In conclusion, South Sudan reaffirms its commitment to the Paris Agreement and to collaborative climate action grounded in equity, solidarity, and shared responsibility. We call upon the international community to align ambition with substantive financial resources, technological support, and genuine partnerships to ensure that the spirit of the Paris Agreement continues to impact the lives of our...
Back in Juba, as we cross over to Malakal, the capital of Upper Nile State, where the Archbishop of Juba Catholic Archdiocese, His Eminence, Cardinal Dr. Stephen Ameyu Martin, has reiterated to the people of Upper Nile the importance of upholding the spirits of peace and reconciliation and rejecting tribalism. Ameyu made the remarks during his address at the inaugural Mass of the Christian Missionary Societies in the Malakal Catholic Diocese on Sunday. The National Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adigo Nyukwach, affirmed the government's determination to advancing the peace process. For his part, the Governor of Upper Nile State, Jacob Dollar, calls upon church leaders to continue praying for peace, tranquility, and unity among the citizens of the state.
نحن ككنيسة بنصلي لأجل كل حكومة بتاعنا، كل وزراء، كل أولاء، كل ناس الموصولين عشان ربنا يغير قلوبنا.
نجيب وضع كيفية أننا ممكن نعيش مع بعض. ده أهم شيء. Putting your hands together and work as a team. Because dalu mwera umaja yakun akim bidanwes, wakim bidanshulu, onwer udenka umaban kullu nas enas mujudin akim bitawa.
It is a collective responsibility from all of us as the citizens. When we secure our town, we will have a peace. When we have a peace, we will have a development. And above all this, forgiveness. Let us forgive ourselves.
Delegates from various public institutions attending the Gender Equality Follow-up and Tracking Program on the implementation of the 35% female gender quota in the public administration have recommended equality, non-discrimination, fairness, justice, and inclusion as key drivers for achieving gender balance in South Sudan's public and private sectors. Find out more in the following report by Dorwal.
Achieving gender equality in public administration is the core value to socio-economic development, resulting from providing equal opportunities in all sectors and at all levels of decision-making. The Undersecretary in the Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Esther Ekere Eluzaya, urged gender focal person to note that achieving the goal involves recognizing different circumstances, targeting interventions to achieve equitable outcomes.
Recognize your role as active agents of promoting gender equality in South Sudan. And when we talk and when we dialogue, we also understand the perspective of where you came from. And it will take time to be transformed. It will take time to change the mindset, to change the attitude of working with women. But we want to put you on the context. So today, when I look at you as national champions. I don't look at you as men who are outside this.
The director of National Transformational Leadership Institute at the University of Juba, Angelina Bazukba, urged the public institution should account for progress on gender equality, which called for transparent data collection and analysis to track progress, identify gaps, and inform policy decisions.
Study helped us to really know where we are, and we can actually stand forth and be able to say, this is what we have. Again, we realize that having policies and legal framework is one thing, implementation is another. But again, enforcement is yet another hurdle.
Some participants recommend that there is need to inclusive public administration to reflect the diversity of the population in service, including women who face multiple forms of discrimination.
If we say no, then you have to listen to, because they are culture also. Their culture, their practices, some of them they will say that, okay, well, you are not the one who made it.
Access the assistance that they need, all the way from the level of humanitarian to basic services, water, education.
Al-Musawi, Mazawji, who comes a year, when they join party will be good leader. Rather than
Achieving gender equality in public administration requires protective measures to remove systematic barriers.
Turning our attention to the medical sector in Warab State, a new maternity ward has been unveiled in Gurial East at Matiel Primary Healthcare Unit, Matiel PHCU, marking a significant milestone in maternal health care. The essential facility developed through the collaborative efforts of the Youth Association of the Boyar section of the Apuglit community, the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, HUNMIS, and various partners, was officially handed over to the state health authorities. The handover ceremony was witnessed by the acting state governor, Garang, who expressed heartfelt gratitude to the United Nations Mission in South Sudan, HUNMIS, and its partners for their exemplary work in supporting the community. From Warab, we now cross over to Eastern Equatoria State, where locals in Budi County are facing difficulties in accessing basic services as a key bridge has been ruined, making the movement of people and goods impossible. The governor of Eastern Equatoria State, Luis Lobong Lejore, visited the site with the Rhino Star construction team to assess the possibility of renovation. Lobong emphasized that the bridge is a critical piece of infrastructure as the river has long hindered the people of Budi County from accessing essential services, appealing to all sons and daughters of Budi County, both at home and in the diaspora, as well as communities across Eastern Equatoria, to support the initiative by contributing resources towards the rehabilitation of the bridge.
We have to sacrifice the little resources that we have to make this bridge so that the people of Budi be able to get the vital services they need. Lano de hausika barao alfi, so negina na shufna, the two alternative, this katana alkana amol na hukuma of the Eastern Equatoria kana bada milidak, and we handed somewhere to Hazade according to attempt. Dakadema bistakal tani ile namul bridge ile mahalde.
Unenda rula junupin dia ada syariah nenda dia tiap dana cukup dunia itu. Cukup dunia karena mulai convention. Udah murah de TSPL. Bamandak ini kan junupin white. Badia udah cukup dunia udah. Udah ini jadi lah ma governor to support. And
this is the end of the cry of the people of Budi County. My brother attempt, we are much happy. I'm sure the people of Budi County will be very happy. Will be very happy to hear Governor has reached Parakseka and attempt has reached Parakseka, and sooner or later this is going to be a great gift for the centenary
We now go for a break, and when we come back, we shall cross over to Western Barakazal State, where government has signed an agreement with Ayad Roads and Bridges Company to rehabilitate and maintain Sita Bridge and the Al Jazeera Residential Area Bridge in a deal worth $343,000 United States dollars. Please do stay with us. Welcome back from that short break, and in case you have just joined us, this is SSBC 8 p.m. News coming to live in the national capital, Juba, with me, Abraham Ken. Now, the government of Western Barakazal State has signed an agreement with Ayad Roads and Bridges Company to rehabilitate and maintain Sita Bridge and the Al Jazeera Residential Bridge in a deal worth $343,000 United States dollars. The ceremony held at the General Secretariat was attended by State Governor Daniel Sharif and government officials. Tito Gabriel Cole, Director General of the Ministry of Roads and Bridges, signed on behalf of the government, while Isham Al-Din Hussein signed for the company. Governor Sharif stressed the government's commitment to implementing vital projects despite economic challenges.
احنا بنأكد للمجتمع بتاعنا وللشعب بتاعنا في غرب بحر الغزال ان احنا رغم الظروف المعروفه على المستوى بتاعت الدوله اننا كحكومه حنضيف مع المواطن من البسيطه اللي احنا بنقدر نقدمها. يعني احنا عارفين في كباري كتير وفي طرق كتير عايزه شغل، لكن على المذكره اللي رفعه الوزير بتاعت الطرق والجسور انه الكباري الاثنين دول هم من اهم الكباري، عشان كده نحن بدينا بيهم ونحن ما حنجيب وبنعمل اللي علينا في عمداغه، وبرضه هي لها دور كبير في ولايه بتاع غرب بحر الغزال، وهي اشتغلت شغل كتير هنا.
عشان كوبري 6 وكوبري الجزيره التكلفه بتاعته الكليه لتنفيذ المشروع ده 343,461.89 دولار. والأولوية لأنه هو زي ما ذكر المتحدثين قبلي بيربط جزء من المدينة ببعض المناطق الحيوية وهي منفذ للأمن أيضا، وده راح يساعدنا كثير.
الشركة دائرة الطرق والجسور كشركة رائدة بعمل الطرق والجسور ده يسألنا إن هنقول بكل التفاصيل والحاجات جاهزين لعمل التدريب.
The Director General of the South Sudan National Prison Service, Lieutenant General Henry Kwanyagwar, met with prison commanders and directors from states and administrative areas to review departmental work and address challenges. In a media statement, Lieutenant General Kwanyagwar says the meeting aimed to strengthen the ties between the national administration and local prisons. Meanwhile, spokesperson Major General Anthony Oliver highlighted the meeting's outcomes, focusing on improving tools and system to alleviate the prison services.
بعد الاجتماع أنا قاعد أتابع مع leadership بتاعي بمشاكل الإدارات السجون من ولايات حتى رأسها سجون في جوبا. عزمنا مدراء في ولايات كله، وأننا قضينا اليوم في تشاورات نحل مشاكلنا إداريا.
والاجتماع خاص بقيادة السجون على مستوى الرئاسة والولايات والإداريات الثلاثة، وكان هدف الاجتماع مراجعة الأعداء في هذه الولايات والإداريات ولغرض الوصول إلى كيفية تحسين مستوى الأداء في هذه الولايات والإداريات. فختم الاجتماع بقرارات مهمة، قرارات إدارية مهمة بتهدف في النهاية. هذه القرارات بتهدف إلى تحسين مستوى الأداء في السجون جنوب السودان بصفة عامة.
The National Constitutional Review Commission, the NCRC, led by Dr. Mario, has consulted with the representatives of the Episcopal Church of South Sudan in Wau Town, Western Barkazal State, as part of the ongoing constitution-making process. The meeting aimed at engaging faith-based leaders in contributing ideas and perspectives to ensure that the new constitution reflects the aspirations and values of the South Sudanese communities. And in a move to boost sports activities, Western Barkazal State authorities, in collaboration with the United Nations missions in South Sudan, have launched the rehabilitation of Goodway Stadium in Yambio. The project aims to promote sports, youth empowerment and peace building across the state. Deputy Governor Justin Joseph Marona described the rehabilitation as a milestone for sports unity and social cohesion, urging development partners to support similar initiatives in other counties. UNMIT's head in Western Equatorial State, Jane Coyne, says the project reflects a shared commitment to peace and community development.
And in accordance with the agreement, this
story brings us to the end of our news. From me, Abraham McKenna, and the whole team here, we thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.